Welcome back to... It's not personal. Are you sure? Arsenal are having a bit of a moment, aren't they? 2 wins in our last 5 Premier League games, injuries mounting, and some questions being asked. Is the Premier League over? No. We're top. Chill out. I know this team, and I know we will bounce back. Wolves are in our sights this weekend. I want blood. 25-0, please. However, my lovely knockers, this little corner of the season has got me thinking about expectations and our response to adversity. We all want the Premier League, we all want the Champions League, but today I want to explore what we're willing to go through as a team and a club, and especially a fan base, to get there. Last Saturday evening, after a couple of glasses to drown my Buendia-induced sorrows, my friend Jamie and I got into a verbal altercation, shall we say, about the causes of Arsenal's recent Premier League form. My esteemed interlocutor was arguing 2 things. Firstly, we can't blame the strength of the league for drop points. We've spent money, we've got big expectations after years under Mikel, and rightly so. And regardless, the Premier League clearly isn't as competitive as it was because the top teams are struggling and unable to put runs together. And secondly, if we want to win the league, we have to win those big games away at big grounds like Villa, amongst other things. And right now, Arsenal just don't bear the hallmarks of title winners. A real Paul Scholes argument if ever I heard. He literally said it. I sighed, took a sip of my Riesling, and immediately started planning this video essay in my head. I'm so much fun to hang out with, aren't I, Will?
Let me out!
So, all that to come. But first, big news. Recently, at TDK Studios, we hired Nico Jova's brother, Rico Jova, as a new editor and producer. Rico comes with tons of experience standing at the side of things, telling people how to be better at their jobs, which is just what we wanted to improve around here. But recently, Rico requested an urgent meeting.
Alex, your other editor is using dodgy websites. You will get hacked.
Rico, chill. We're using Surfshark.
Surfs up?
It encrypts your data, blocks malware, and keeps you truly private online. So no worries about bad websites or hackers.
You sound like my brother. Always with new theories.
Rico, join the 21st century, pal. Not only does it encrypt your data, it means you can avoid things like price discrimination, where websites adjust their prices based on your location and internet history. And you can change locations to access content from anywhere in the world. You could watch your brother from the Bahamas or Basingstoke.
He was always the better looking one.
Even better, one Surfshark account covers unlimited devices. So once you have the login, the whole Jova family are covered.
Maybe I try.
Now, can you ask your brother to look at the front post, please?
Only if you have a discount code.
If you want to try Surfshark, use my code TDK at checkout for 4 extra months of Surfshark. Just go to surfshark.com and put in the code, or simply go to surfshark.com/TDK. You got that, Rico?
Oh, Champs-Élysées.
Rico? Okay, back to the video. I don't know when it became normal to expect difficult things to come easily. Blame the phones, maybe it's them. And when it comes to dropping points in the Premier League, I'm not here to blindly defend Arsenal. But it's not 2006. Right now, there are 7 points between Crystal Palace in 4th and Brentford in 14th. 7. 3 bad games, you go from pushing for Champions League to serious trouble. Last season was the first season in history to see 5 different English clubs win a major trophy, and the gap between Liverpool in 1st and Tottenham in 17th was just 46 points. The smallest it has been between those 2 positions in a decade. Between them last summer, the newly promoted sides made 8 permanent signings from clubs that finished in European places in the other 4 top leagues. Strasbourg, Atletico, Roma, Leverkusen, PSG, Stuttgart, Lille and Lyon, all going to newly promoted sides. And that doesn't include AC Milan or Leipzig, or indeed Champions League clubs outside the top 5 leagues, like Ajax, Sporting and Club Brugge. In Blackpool's only season in the Premier League, they signed Matt Phillips from Wycombe Wanderers in League 2 for an upfront fee of £325,000, and he played 27 times. Elliot Anderson is currently 17th, and he will go for £100 million. Lucas Paquetá could get relegated. There's about 6 players I'd sign from Crystal Palace. Club ELO ranks every club in Europe over time with some very comprehensive objective data, and they have 13 English clubs in their top 25 clubs in Europe. Over half. Villa are miles above Atletico, Crystal Palace are above AC Milan, and Bournemouth are in the top 25. Bournemouth. Hometown. By 23-24, the Premier League clubs as a collective from matchday, broadcast and commercial were totalling over 7 billion euros in revenues, the next best being Germany at well under 4 billion. And that difference is set to increase even further. In terms of wages, if you sort the top 30 clubs in Europe by total wages paid per week, you'll find 4 La Liga clubs, 4 Bundesliga clubs, 6 Serie A clubs, 2 Liga 1 clubs, and 14 Premier League clubs. Now, have we been a bit rubbish for our own reasons in the Premier League in recent weeks? Definitely. Do we have to move with the competitive landscape? Of course we do. But this argument that the top side's struggling shows that the Premier League is somehow weaker is a total nonsense. It's a sign that the league is stronger than it has ever been overall. And that's objectively provable. Tactically, technically, physically, financially, interest-wise, and so much more. So what, do Arsenal shy away from that? Give up? That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you didn't expect there to be bumps in the road, you need to give your head a wobble. Pep Guardiola, the greatest coach of all time, hasn't put 5 wins together since the end of 23-24. We have, by the way. Enzo Maresca looks like a title challenger one week and he's miles off it the next. We're relatively consistent. Arne Slot won the Premier League with 1 loss before April last season, and now, £400 million down the line, look at him. Are all these coaches just bums? That's the logical argument here, is it? Or are they just navigating increasingly difficult competitive circumstances? I don't know about you, and I don't like them, but I expect periods like this in this league. And if you're not ready for bumps, get out the car. So point 1, destroyed. Sorry, Jamie, not having it. But the second argument Jamie makes, unfortunately, holds a little bit of weight. Even if this is the de facto Super League, we do need to know what we're aiming for. I have actually just defended us, haven't I? But I'm going to have a bit of a moan, if that's okay. But I promise it's A, with good data-driven reason, and B, I have a positive outlook on how we move forward. So, there's probably more things, but I'm going to propose 3 things that title winners tend to do. They, firstly, get decent luck with injuries. They have a forward or a group of forwards that get a load of goals and assists, and they win big games, especially against title rivals. Those 3 seem fair, no? They sort of feel right. And as you'll see, they're largely proven in the data. And my worry is, and what I'm putting to you, is I'm not sure Arsenal are quite hitting any of those 3 just yet. Here's the absence record, i.e. injuries and suspensions, of every Premier League winner since Chelsea in 2017. So the total games missed from every player across the squad, not including Leicester, simply because they were a huge outlier for their availability. Their players missed 13 games in total. Can you imagine? We'd win it by September. I've also, where possible, removed players that would skew the data. I don't think Philippe Sandler's 30 games missed in 2021 hurt Pep all that much. No offence, Philippe. I love your dad's films. The average total games missed across the last 9 title wins is 69. You want to know Arsenal's total so far this year? Do you? 65 games missed already across the squad. And that doesn't include, for example, those we know are yet to come. For example, Mosquera into the future or Havertz into the future. We are just over a third into the season. Ooh. Now, the last 4 seasons from 21-22 onwards, especially, the injury numbers have been going up everywhere. We have a bigger squad to soak it all up. I don't believe it will stay like this forever, but we have to look at it. This is a big problem. And it's also why I say, if the fitness issues can clear up, I think we're not even close to our potential. Considering how we've played, considering where we are in the league, I think we're the best team, no question. It's just a big if. But this also doesn't look at who specifically was missing. You look back through these records and maybe say in 18-19 where City are missing De Bruyne and both the left backs are out basically the whole year. It's maybe comparable from an importance and cluster perspective. But that's probably the worst one. So far, we've been missing our 2 best number 9s. We've been missing the 2 best centre-backs in the league the last few weeks. We've missed our captain. You know, it's concerning. And I don't know how to solve this. It's just to say that right now, we're on track to, if we win the league, be a massive outlier. Playing this out over 38 league games at the same rate, it would be 164 games missed through injury across the squad. Can you win a title like that? Recent history suggests it's hard. Now, is it the intensity of the games? Is it the players? Is it the manager? Is it just the schedule? Is it luck? I don't know, but I normally leave it there. Today, I want to say this. I do think we could do with a bit more information from the club. If you're on a flight and you can hear the engines making a weird clunking noise, I don't think you're out of your remit to grab a steward and go, sorry, what's going on? I don't think you have to be a pilot or a Boeing engineer to say, I'm not sure this is quite right. And I'm a fan. I don't know. But I've reached a point where I don't know how a 747 engine works, but I also don't know how much longer I'm willing to just sit in my seat passively anymore. This absolutely isn't ignore the experts. Of course not. I just want more information. I'm sure everyone at the club is working as hard as they can to correct it. But if I had to pick the number one thing holding the club back in the last 18 months, I would say injuries. And even a bit more information, I think would massively help. Educators, how are you addressing the number one issue at the club? And I know there's going to be comments, oh, you're so entitled. Why? If this was any other area of the club, everyone would be asking questions. If our centre forward wasn't scoring, we'd be waxing lyrical, writing columns, recording podcasts. If the club appointed the wrong person or signed the wrong deal, we all, rightly, have something to say about it. They'll communicate about the club's ambition and commercial partnerships and signings. So why not this? The thing most holding us back. More information will stop us filling in the gaps. And it's my opinion, you don't have to agree, that gaps of knowledge can erode confidence and affect the energy in the stadium. And I think it is. Just a final, more positive note here, as we were including suspensions. Only 2 of those title winners in the last 10 years received a red card more than once. Leicester in 15-16 and City in 17-18. So last year was always doomed, and I'm glad to see us sliding up that fair play table. Okay, second thing title winners tend to do. I love our group of forwards, and I can make a logical argument for each one as to why they haven't quite been at their best this season, barring probably Trossard. Injuries, league adaptation, not quite being platformed correctly, and so on. You know the arguments as well as I do. But at some point, we need them to step up. Here are the last 10 seasons of title winners and their highest goal contributors during that Premier League campaign. Raheem Sterling, where was that last year, pal? The highest goal contributor at the title winner gets a total combined average of 30.8 goal contributions, however it's weighted across the last 10 seasons. So far in the Premier League, Trossard has Arsenal's highest number of goal contributions at 7 in 15 games. Eze, Marino and Rice are at 6, Saka and Timber are at 5, and Gyökeres is at 4. In the remaining 23 games, to hit that number of 30.8 GA, let's call it 30, Trossard is on course for just under 18 contributions. And that would be our highest. And across the squad, with just over 1.8 goals a game so far, we're on for a total of 70 goals currently. And in the 38-game Premier League seasons, only 3 clubs have scored less goals and still won the title. Us in 97-98, Leicester in 15-16, and United in 08-09. We can look at our set pieces. We played some really tough matches, especially away from home. Mikel tends to spread goals across the team, and broadly that's worked. We've hit record goal tallies. We can look at fitness 1,000,000%. But we do need someone at some point soon, ideally 2 or 3 players, to start to pick this up. If we are to win the title without one star forward picking up the numbers or a group of them coming together, again, it's not impossible. It just would be an outlier in the last 10 years. Just a note, in both of those City seasons where De Bruyne produced less than 25 goals and assists, 3 other players produced at least 16 goals and assists individually. We've had only 3 players hit 25 GA since 1920. Aubameyang, Saka in 22-23, and Saka in 23-24. There's not loads more to say here, really. We just need someone to get going soon. I think we will get there. Encouragingly, we're slightly underperforming our XG at the minute, which is good. But we need it soon. And finally, in my threesome of doom, I promise some positivity is coming. I wanted to look at that Paul Scholes big game maxim. Is it true that title winners go away and win in those big games? Obviously, it's true to some degree, but where's the line here? Well, let's do the top 8. The traditional Big 6 plus Newcastle and Villa, and I've gone back as far as the season 2020-2021 for these results. For ease of argument, my editor's sake, and my family's desire to see me every once in a while. I've detailed the average points for Liverpool and City over each season versus the top 8 both at home and away, which you can now see on screen. The average points for title winners versus the top 8 at home across all 5 seasons is 2.3, and the average points for title winners versus top 8 away across all 5 seasons is 1.8. In terms of, is it true you need to win the big games against the top 8 to be title winners? Perhaps there's an emotional component here that can't be quite accounted for, but looking through, yeah. It depends which podcast you're trying to promote this week, I guess. City won only 6 out of those 14 games in 23-24 and won the title with 91 points. But then the year Liverpool came second with 97 points, literally the only games they didn't win in the entire season, barring 3 others, were Chelsea, City, United and Arsenal away and City at home. So for them, it would have made all the difference. I just think we need to be there or thereabouts. So how do Arsenal so far this season stack up? Right now, we are behind in terms of the top 8 at home average, as we're at 2 points on average, albeit in a very small sample of 2 games, and behind in terms of the average top 8 away record at 1.4 points. Not by much, but work to do. And that's fine because we beat up the smaller teams generally. And I think the clustering of fixtures, the weak-ish correlation between winning all these big games and winning the title, and the small sample size makes this probably the least concerning of the 3 characteristics to solve. But it is something that I hope when we play the remainder of these games, we can look to improve. Ultimately, we're up on points from the same fixtures last season, which is really all you can ask. So let's come back to it. What is realistic to expect on this journey to getting what we want this season? What are we prepared to go through? Well, it certainly won't be perfection. We must respect the level of what these guys are being asked to do, the competitiveness of this freakish league. But also, even with all the caveats we've thrown at this team, the injuries, the fixtures, I think we can begin to ask a little bit more of them. And I say that only because I believe they can do it. And so does Mikel. After Villa, Mikel said, they've given me all the right reasons to think we're going to continue to perform at the same level because what the boys tried to do today, again, with the schedule that we had, it was amazing. So we move on. I don't like being critical. I know the level of the team. I know the level of the competition. I know what we're asking them to do is unbelievable. And I know how much they want it. I feel it. We're not at our potential yet. We're at a bit of a dip in recent weeks, but that happens. And for me, it's about striking that balance of expectation. It can't be perfection, especially not in this league. But we do need to know what we're aiming for and always return to that focus on the next game. As I say, 25-0, please. And do I believe that this is a team that can find that balance? Absolutely. Last year in the November international break, Mikel Arteta happened to be at the LA Rams training facility because he and some Arsenal executives were visiting during the international break. Arteta is known to be friendly with a number of top coaches from other sports, revealing in a conversation with Steve Kerr on a leadership podcast that he's in a WhatsApp group with a lot of these guys and that it helps him to handle situations, come up with new ideas, think differently, and so on. But he helps them as well. Mikel went into Sean's office and they spent 2 hours talking about player connections, ideas, and things that Mikel has done. The Rams president, Kevin Demoff, told BBC Sport. Sean took a step back from the day-to-day of we just lost to Miami and into this is what makes a great leader. This is how we do it. We then had this amazing run. And I truly do believe that Sean was invigorated by that conversation with Mikel. I credit Mikel with some of our turnaround last year. McVay led the Rams to victory in 6 of their next 7 games to clinch the NFC West divisional title before being halted in the postseason by the eventual Super Bowl winners, the Philadelphia Eagles. Sports. My manager. And something he said recently really made me laugh. Mikel gave an interview to Sky about his first ever day at the training ground in 2019. He said to Roman Kemp, before his first meeting with the players, he went in and absolutely trashed the room. I put the room in a really awkward place, said Mikel. A lot of things on the floor, it looked a big mess. And I said, this is the impression, the way a lot of people have described the moment we were in. So if you want me to come and help you get us to the standard and level that we need to be part of this football club, get everything together and let's start working. Can we just pause for a second? Can you imagine your new coach, a guy who is in his first ever managerial job, is barely older than some of the players, in the first meeting you have, walks in, trashes the room, goes, you need to clear this up, and you follow him. It's incredible. The stones you have to manage a big club. Some of you can't even handle one loss. This is a team full of resilience and character. I love Madueke's recent words about the so-called Bible brothers praying together before games. But look through this group. Ez's story, Gabriel's story, Gyökeres's story. It's a team full of resilience and energy. If you're asking if this team could deal with adversity, ride waves, I don't know how your answer couldn't be yes when you're watching them. Getting over lines, certain tactical issues, attacking patterns, certainly some talking points there. But desire, belief, work ethic, that is unshakable. That loss to Aston Villa happened for a lot of reasons, but it wasn't through lack of trying. We can't expect perfection, but we can expect really high things of this incredible group. The modern football fan has everything at their fingertips. I'm not casting aspersions here. I'm the exact same. I got frustrated the other day because our food order hadn't arrived, and it meant I had to walk 3 minutes to the shop to pick up a pre-prepared ready meal. I didn't even have to cook, and I was annoyed. It's the modern fan. It's the modern way. We're all guilty. But with football, there are no shortcuts. We were never, ever, ever going to go through a season without adversity, and we will respond. In hindsight, Jamie probably was trying to goad me, wasn't he? It just wasn't the time. That Buendia dagger was painful. Dig deep, Work hard, push on. In football and in life, there's only one way out, and that's through. Thanks so much for watching. If you like The Different Knock, you can support us on Patreon and get ad-free early access to each video for just £3 a month. Or for one-time support, you can buy us a coffee. Links are in the description.